What have you been watching? Take us into your Ford Explorer.
Okay, my Ford Explorer I actually watched today. All right, so the film I watched is the film that I've always been intrigued by, from 1986, Peter Weir's Mosquito Coast, starring
Oh,
Harrison Ford. It has Helen Mirren there as plays his wife, and a young River Phoenix. Also, Jason Alexander randomly shows up as a hardware clerk in this movie. And essentially, this film sees Harrison Ford as this inventor named Ali Fox, who is kind of fed up with how America is right now. And like I said, he's an inventor and he works on this farm and he's trying to create this refrigerator system where he makes ice cubes. And he decides, you know what? These people over here is America's the people in America are kind of just ungrateful. I'm going to go off into this mysterious part of this jungle area in Belize and live off in the Mosquito Coast there. And he buys a small town. He kind of revamps the town and the people that are living in it as well, and eventually does create this big giant ice making machine that also provides some form of air conditioning. And of course, with great power comes great responsibility, and people want to kind of take stuff back. And there's these interesting missionaries that come across this journey, and there's also some of these weird, like, what is essentially is maybe poachers possibly, or they've heard about this mysterious city with ice, and they kind of take it over, and it kind of all comes crashing down. And seeing Harrison Ford kind of dive into this really weird mad scientist inventor type of thing, where he's just kind of like slowly losing it mentally, and the characters around are kind of forced to kind of just kind of understand where he's at and kind of just live with the situation, because that's the best they got. If they try to go somewhere else, it's going to be all downhill for them. And eventually they kind of, after the just downfall of the little town that they bought, they're off by the coast, and of course they get swept up in the rainy season and get floated down river, and eventually meet up with this missionary that kind of was pointing the fingers down at them, and Harrison Ford was pointing it right back at them. And it's an interesting little character study. I think Ford was chaotic in this movie in a really good way. I think it's definitely probably one of the better Harrison Ford uh, performances that I've seen. It's definitely something that's completely different, having him be this inventor, and the invention is like basically an ice machine called the Fat Boy. And seeing his wife played as Helen Mirren, which I guess I've never thought of them being the same age, but I guess it kind of works. However, Helen Mirren's name in this movie is Mother. They were like, "Hey, Mother, Mother," like that was her name. Mother Fox was her title here. But also, she's fine in this movie too. It's not like the best Helen Mirren performance, but it's really interesting to see a really younger version of Helen Mirren here. I'm kind of used to seeing her like in the late 2008, 2009 era, and now. But it's the best part of this movie probably is River Phoenix, seeing River Phoenix and what could have been with his career if he didn't tragically pass away, and also a team up with Ford and Phoenix in this movie before the 1989 Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. I think that's some stuff really cool. It's a very interesting movie. I think the Reverend here, Andre Gregor, is another kind of interesting performance there. He, I guess, is most known for The Last Temptation of Christ with the Martin Scorsese film. Peter Weir, it's a very interesting movie. It's also PG, which is also kind of fascinating there. But Ware has done some really good movies. A deep dive movie that we did in The Truman Show. This is the second time he's done a Ford Explorer. He did Witness, which is another really good movie from the Ford Explorer. Mosquito Coast is a very interesting film that watch it for the Ford performance. Overall, this kind of feels like The Beach, Danny Boyle's film that I watched this year, but I kind of like this one a little bit more because it's there's a similarity. There's like a hypnoticness to this, but I'm at 2.5 stars for Mosquito Coast. A solid entry. It is streaming on Canopy, so it's readily available, and it does fall. I need to pull up that list real quick. It does fall right between 6 Days, 7 Nights, and Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. So right at number 22 on the Ford Explorer. Kind of right when I saw like 6 Days, 7 Nights, I'm like, that's kind of like the perfect spot. It's like Ford on a beach. So that's the beach segment of the Ford Explorer. Ford on the beach, right there. I think you've seen this one possibly.
I have not. I know of the title. I didn't know it was Peter Weir, so that's pretty cool that he got his Oscar nomination
Mhm.
with the Peter Weir movie, and then the next year he worked with him again.
Yeah.
So,
Witness is
I mean,
really,
the movie looks like it has pretty good overall reception. He got a
yeah.
Golden Globe nomination for this, I guess. So,
Mhm.
um,
And this is like the awesome image of the Ford Explorer, him in his
okay, I've
glasses.
seen that poster before.
Yeah, it's a solid movie. And I think if I watch it again, I can kind of gain some appreciation for it. But it is very weird. There's like times where it's told from Ford's perspective, but there's like this narration with River Phoenix and what could have been with that guy's career. That he was
Yeah.
really young in this movie, but he was like really electric in The Last Crusade for his little time there. But he plays River Phoenix plays Harrison Ford's son, which is pretty cool too. So. But yeah, it's a fun movie. I think I can gain more appreciation with more rewatches. So it's a high 2.5 stars. So really solid movie.